It is now December, and WWE has already been the most forgettable combat brand sports in this year. People have been talking more outlandish characters than professional wrestlers, with Conor McGregor and Mayweather this year than they ever been. Even KSI and Logan Paul have been taking up more headlines than Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, that already wrestled 3 times, and multiple other occasions that WWE been trying to make a big class project, and now they're up to another change into the development of things over the course of after TLC. So we're back, and Mustafa Ali won Pin Champion. This makes Daniel Bryan feel strong because Mustafa Ali is coming from 205 Live, and obviously we couldn't have him lose twice. So obviously we're going to start from the beginning to the end so I can get this over with. I want this off my chest. I'm already having a break. I want to chill, play some 2K, not the wrestling kind. Not the wrestling one. Please, not the wrestling one. For a while. So we started off with a backstage segment involving Shane McMahon trying to address that there's new management. Yet again, it's the McMahon, so it's nothing new. We understand how much of a failure the McMahons even failed to make a new brand with either not changing the demographic, just changing the management, changing the roster, changing the rotation, trying to make it the brand separate again. Even though making that brand, it made it worse. You made the championship change into something to change to everybody. You made Charlotte Flair an 8-time champion, and I just wanted to make that clear. Charlotte Flair came into the WWE not in 2010, not 2011, not 2013, not 2014, 2015 she came into the company. And if you guys sum that up and how many times she won the championship, it is 2018 now. She's been in the company for about 3 years in the main roster. 3 fucking years! And she is already an 8-time women's champion. That sounds fair to you? That sounds fair? Like, she's like a 5-time Raw Women's Champion, like 3-time SmackDown, and nobody remembers her reigns. Nobody remembered Becky Lynch, and Asuka just won her, so obviously we might see what she can do in the future. But whatever it is going to be consistent. Leave forgettable. Anything else? This was a pretty selectment. I don't know what they're going to let Paige do, even though they relieved her of her managerial duties as SmackDown's GM, even though she mainly stayed her focus on the women's division. So anything about her being consistent, you don't have to always have your personal intentions in doubt, like Baron Corbin. That's like anybody that doesn't like him, he just deals with it because he's a wrestler. So anything else, the main event was supposed to be AJ Styles and Mustafa Ali versus uh, Daniel Bryan and Andrade Cien Almas, and that's pretty much it. I know this is build up, and it will take quite a while until January comes up with the biggest pay per view to kick off the year. But anything else, I do not care. It's been proving to be quite wildish and insignificant of this main roster, and how much it was already limited how it is, and people just making these childish excuses all because you got NXT doesn't mean they have to be a brand split. You had 2 major feds coming up at the time that you could accept that much talent. That's why there was a brand split, and that's how it worked because there were so many creative guys. Are you sure Eric Young wanted to make Sanity? He was a former Impact champion. He was a world champion. Then we have the Club with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows coming up to face the Usos, the fake Polynesian Young Bucks, using super kicks, suicide dives. It was an enjoyable matchup and one of the best matchups on the show, but anything else, it was eh. Sanity came to break it up, and it was becoming an all right match. It could have been cool to just beat the Usos, then have Sanity and everybody else come up, so the Bar can beat up the Usos, and Sanity to just beat the shit out of the Usos and Gallows and Anderson. Anything else, I understand they're trying to make relevancy into the tag division, trying to extend it, but the brand split's already weaker than it ever been, and I think fixing it is too far gone. Trying to make a new brand product. So I thought this was completely worthless of a segment, and this doesn't make the bar even stronger. They don't even have backstage segments to legitimize any of this shit. So yeah, I didn't care about this entire brawl session. Next was Rusev and Nakamura was addressed for next week. And Nakamura wasted complete time with these small commercials of him doing promos calling Rusev for shit. And Rusev had a backstage interview calling Rusev Sonic the Hedgehog is like Russian saying American video game character. Because Nakamura wears a faggot blue jumpsuit like a little male stripper in Korea. I do not want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see Nakamura strip. There's kids. There's kids around. Look at him. Does it look like you want to go into a ring and touch him? Like, in contact. I don't give a fuck if you punch him. I don't want to touch him. Anything else, I hate this feud. They have no reason to feud. Didn't Rusev earn a US title shot? Why is it taking so long to actually have a well done feud with this? And now they're bringing Lana in because they know Lana fails to be a wrestler. This was completely pointless of a segment, and I know this is just going to be blown off the window because Rusev really hasn't gotten fired since 2015. 2014 to 15, and that was early 2015 until that little Dolph Ziggler shit, and that took Rusev to high hopes to high water. That's literally it. Oh my god. So next was Samoa Joe's apology, because they take it like CM Punk and Jeff Hardy never happened. So yeah, and that was more well instructed. It was a more built up feud. It took months until Jeff Hardy failed it all and go to Impact. So no one cared. At least I enjoyed two of the wrestlers, and they were two of the most popular at the time. Jeff Hardy was popular still in 2009. Anything else about Samoa? It's Jeff Hardy now, 20 years into the WWE. All of this because they interrupted his 20th anniversary like it was the biggest event ever. Hulk Hogan's birthday was more important than this shit. Hulk Hogan's birthday. And Jesus Christ. This was a cringy, boring segment about getting hammered home and fucking his failures on winning the brass belt. He still hasn't won, a championship since he came here. And that was supposed to be the biggest burn. And Samoa Joe started fighting, and it's like, one insult gets any of these heels riled up. One! It takes one insult to trigger a heel now. Samoa Joe been such a weak link since coming here. It's like, what's the point? He hasn't been in any dominant side since coming here. He's never won a match. Didn't he feud with also Sami Zayn? How did that work out? He feuds with Lesnar. That was supposed to be a breaking point with him. And he wouldn't even get a pinfall on the dude thanks to Lesnar's inconsistent working here. He hasn't even wrestled on Monday Night Raw since like 2002. God knows if you're a wrestling fan, you know when's the last time Lesnar wrestled on SmackDown. And my failure understanding this, well, why are you being like, oh wow, the fans know that Samoa Joe have been in a good relationship with fucking Jeff Hardy because they watch TNA. I'm just saying, I'm just saying a lot of stuff that you fans don't know because obviously, if you go back and watch SmackDown, you don't understand any of the shit they're saying because either they're focusing on the hardcore fans that are exposing them because they actually have the statistics and shit, and the actual fans that don't know what's going on, they're losing interest into the character, and it doesn't go anywhere. Oh my god. Whatever, I know this is just going to be built up for a kickoff match, so I don't care anything about this. And I don't care about the sick burn about him coming to the main roster and not winning a championship yet. None of these guys are even relevant since winning an Intercontinental or US title. Everybody forgot already that Bobby Roode won the U.S. title this year. Everybody. And that just dumped up my mind right now. Kevin Owens was Intercontinental Champion. He was even Universal Champion. Everybody didn't even remember that Goldberg was Universal Champion, and that was last year. This year, more forgettable, and this is why I have issues with WWE. The more they have no way building up these characters and make sure these guys are real fleshed out instead of them having relationships with one another, or being so apologetically PC and PG, it doesn't make any of these characters interesting. Make them have a tick. Make them have characteristics. Let them have their own promos instead of be like this on their phone for the fucking promos on live television while there's a camera in front of them. Nigga, why are you doing this? Why does Nakamura do promos still? Why does Asuka have to do promos? Have a translator. That sounds more intimidating than them just struggling to actually say 3 words and they'll say that's a complete sentence. Oh my goodness. Next is mixed tag match. I see I can't get the mixed match out of my head. Next was a mixed match. Fuck me. This is gonna hurt me all day. A mixed tag match involving Miz and Mandy Rose versus R-Truth and Carmella. And guess what? Miz won off distraction of R-Truth getting left out against Carmella when Mandy Rose was busy with her, and it ended up with a skull-crushing finale with R-Truth, with the Miz winning. This all comes from a backstage segment involving the Miz talking to Vince McMahon, saying that he's having trust issues with Shane for some apparent reason for a trophy they got from Crown Jewel. Enough on that, because I really didn't care about Crown Jewel. And if you guys want explanations why I don't care about Crown Jewel, go to a lot more folks. Hit men like Joe Cronin. Hit a lot more. At least type in reviews or rants or just recaps on Crown Jewel. You really shouldn't care on why the Miz is with Shane McMahon and why it's bothering Vince in any of this. So he was scheduled for a tag match, but he didn't know what tag match it was. So we got a mixed tag. That was pretty much it. And he got his blessing, but he got a tag match. So he didn't get the tag with Shane. He got the tag with Mandy Rose in a mixed tag. What was this supposed to prove? Nothing. That Miz was still the most relevant wrestler in the main roster, but he thinks he made a difference. Yeah. So the main event. The fucking main event was, of course, Andrade Cien Almas facing off against with AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I already say his name, so I'm getting really repetitive. This was interesting, just seeing Daniel Bryan just look strong, beating AJ Styles twice. You know, a man that's been holding the WWE Championship for most of the year, been the best wrestler on SmackDown. Then Daniel Bryan comes and loses a feud with Samoa Joe. Forgettable feud with Samoa Joe. This really didn't build up anywhere. And he would come up and lose against Mustafa Ali. That makes it strong. I understand they're trying to build up Mustafa Ali as being a wild card and being somebody in the mid card to be afraid of. Dude can't hack it. He's a ripoff 7-Eleven Seth Rollins. High flyer. He seems to be an amazing striker. There's nothing interesting about him. The biggest thing that let him glow is fucking his attire. And now, more stuff that let it glow. I forgot about goddamn Naomi and Asuka fight, because that was the kickoff of the show. But I can tell you, it was an fight, because I know they're just going to build up to Becky Lynch and Charlotte facing them. Because Becky Lynch came and brought up Ronda Rousey interrupting the match, and then they went back into Asuka. Even though they know Ronda Rousey is bigger than nearly anybody except Charlotte and Becky Lynch. This is not proving much. This is proving that the roster should stay together and SmackDown should still be like a decent form for the mid card. That doesn't sound bad, doesn't it? Why is WWE failing at what they already have, the resources that they have to develop more talent? Why are they failing at this, man? And I already forgot about the first match of the show. That's how bad it is. Oh my goodness. And and this brand split is just making it worse. You have champions that don't deserve to be champions. I don't care about Buddy Murphy. I don't care about Daniel Bryan. There was 4 midgets in the ring for a tag match in the main event of SmackDown. We had R-Truth in the main event of SmackDown and facing off against The Miz. You really want me to take this SmackDown review seriously? I dare you to tell me something charitable about this entire year. Tell me something good about this year. Tell me something positive. Give me the top 10 reasons why 2018 was a good year for WWE. We have the most talented roster. We have good production. We can fly all over the world. We were able to do that. Even like 2010, we had a good roster. You could say Tyson Kidd was all right. You would say David Hart Smith. These guys are terrible. They're disinteresting. Daniel Bryan doesn't look like he gives a shit. Yes, he's incredibly technical. He can do wrestling moves, but that takes enough out of that makes him interesting than just saying fickle because he's a heel now and he has to say something different. He has to say one catchphrase, one effing catchphrase, so he can captivate an audience. And you shouldn't be doing that. You know that there's your demographic also compels to a lot of men in like their mid 20s to early 30s. You know wrestling's for everybody, so why you think the major demographics for children? This is why fans don't fucking watch it. What happened to Attitude Era? It's like we're taking off the gloves. We understand we're that this is fake wrestling. But we're not gonna treat you like idiots. We're gonna give you good entertainment. We're gonna give you compelling TV. We're gonna give you entertaining matches that you guys are gonna sit on your back to watch. Where as soon as you guys see this year for a women's match, I'm going to the bathroom. Nigga, what happened? What happened? What am I supposed to be watching here? 4 midgets now into the ring. AJ Styles, like nobody even is above 6'3", and I would be okay to watch. Mustafa Ali seems like an entertaining wrestler. I'm not trying to diminish anybody's talent here, but obviously, would you rather see some random dude that has a gym that won a silver medal, or you want to see some guy that looked like he won a golden medal that actually won a golden medal and can do that shit in the ring? And they keep building up all these NXT stars like Laura Sullivan, a Heavy Machinery, this these random women, Nikki Cross, and I only see Heavy Machinery getting over because the WWE is in a desperate turn to have a new tag division, and it's better they just fuse the 2 titles right now and make a new championship, make new tag titles because obviously the tag division sucks. Speaking about this entire SmackDown, I'm not done with this video. This was is SmackDown. This gets a 3 out of 10. My goodness, this was a poor SmackDown. And as much as people want to give it credit, saying that they're trying something new, they understand they're trying to get more people in there. They're trying to get more wrestlers involved. You gotta get them in storyline. Make them join factions. Make some of the single wrestlers join factions. There can be more than 3, more than 4, more than 5 people, and you can get them in a number of conflict, and you can make good shows. You can make good episodes. Make them have 8-man tags. Let them do street fights. Let more backstage fights happen. That's what made the Attitude Era. Hell, even the Ruthless Aggression era must-see TV, even though like in the lowest points in 2009 to 10 and 11, you still had some good wrestling and you had some good entertainment. The Nexus was still must-watch to see what they were going to do to make a difference in the WWE. Even if it bombed, the Nexus gave you a reason to watch. The Wyatt family gave you a reason to watch. What gives me a reason to watch right now? What do they have? AJ Styles? A dude that looked like he haven't cut his hair in 5 years? Daniel Bryan that hasn't cut in shit since like 2014, then the injury prone shit happened? And he wasn't even shit then. Saying yes and no doesn't make you an iconic figure. Get over it. Then there's Braun Strowman that I feel bad for that didn't even win the Intercontinental Championship. And how come? There's nothing captivating about him. He can literally get in a feud with anybody and he can be incredibly entertaining. Seth Rollins is an entertaining wrestler. Why don't you have him in more entertaining bouts? And it doesn't even have to be for a championship. Stop with these corny ass pay-per-views. Stop with every bit of this. This is obviously not the direction that yourselves don't want yourselves in. And fans keep not coming to watch your show. And I heard a bit of good news. Raw did have came back in the ratings a bit, and I hope that continues for next year. I want at least a slight increase in the ratings, a slight increase in attendance. I want a bit more improvement, even if it's two things I would like to come back in WWE. Even if it's the smallest things, it means it's improving. It still gets a 3 out of 10. That stays. But this was a poor SmackDown. This showed nothing to build up, except to show how whiny, how vague, how sloppy the storylines could be, how the wrestling can mean nothing, the segments don't show that much weight, and how disinteresting some of the champions are. If I see Nakamura holding that beautiful United States Championship one more time, I'm going to lose it, bro. It's that bad. Thanks for watching. Oh boy. Subscribe, like, dislike. It's your choice.